really important to us.
Yeah, so it's good to have a quality dealer that allows you to A/B it and decide it for yourself, and carries quality products. I mean, CH Precision. I think a lot of people don't realize the history goes all the way back to Anagram.
Well, it goes back even farther. The C and the H are the founders of the company, Florian Kozisi and Thierry Heeb, go back to actually Goldman. Then their first company was Anagram.
Anagram, yeah.
Then there was ABC PCB. That was Florian's company before CH Precision. And ABC PCB became engineered.
Right.
Who did a lot of engineering between the two companies for a lot of the best European digital front ends that we know in the industry. So when CH started, we actually started with the DAC and the CD transport, and then a matching smaller amp, what we call the A1. And that A1 still lives with us. It's been boxed into our integrated amp. We put some more things in there, of course, because it's a full streaming phono possible integrated amp that can be field upgraded. So if a client is using USB audio, for example, today, they put a USB card in. Great. If they decide to do networked audio later, they can put the streaming card in. If they don't do phono but decide to, we can add phono later without any cost differential. It's done with a number 10 Torx wrench.
Just a modular kind of thing.
It's a modular design, exactly.
No, I like that about your company, but I think a lot of people, one of the advantages I have, because I've been going to shows for decades, is knowing about Anagram back in the day.
Sure.
And if DAX had the Anagram chip in it, whether I think it was the Audio Arrow, the Metronome, those all had a huge advantage audibly over everything else. And consistently, Anagram DAC rooms won Best of Show and Stereophile. I remember Jeff Joseph using it at one time. And I always looked for myself, which DAC had the Anagram chip. And then unfortunately, Anagram no longer exists, but the legacy still lives on.
And in fact, in this DAC, we do our upsampling with proprietary math, if you will, algorithms that are, we call them filters typically, but as you know, you can in different DACs will have linear, nonlinear, smooth. Those are all filters that are controlling either the pre-ringing or the post-ringing or some version of that, and they're all compromises. We actually use spline filters that are the H rights. We're doing our own math. Which doesn't have frequency response flat out 9 digits past the decimal point that has no relevance in human hearing. But timing domain, pre-ringing and post-ringing, we can actually show how that doesn't exist.
Okay.
So we've eliminated that. So we don't offer those switches because those are all or buttons. Choose your filter 1 through 4, 1 through 6, depending on the product. And so all of our products, including the integrated amp, the I1, uses proprietary math. So even pre-chips, the math that we're doing is already unique. And of course, I can bore you ad nauseum of some of the hardware things.
Yeah, and we covered some of it at the thing you did in Chicago. You had a very thorough presentation, which was very appreciated. But yeah, if anybody's interested in CH Precision, obviously they make a plethora of products that are all high-end. But I would start with the DAC because the legacy of the company, getting that Anagram pedigree, the spline filter, this is the type that I think if you are going to hear a difference with DACs and appreciate superior approaches, this might be one that I think people would want to try, especially if you have a cost no object budget, because it's not cheap, but there is some behind it. There's a lot of pedigree. I can vouch for the Anagram chat always being one of the tops, so yeah.
Yeah, I learned of CH from the original C1.
Is that right?
And I didn't realize it was a C1 that was magical. It was a California audio show in San Francisco. And I was working with a dealer, and the system was really magical. I thought it was just the stars aligned. And then I did an event later, and we also had a C1. I went, the only thing common
denominator, right?
It must be the DAC.
Yeah.
I come from the analog world,
yeah.
And I fell in love with the C1, and the C1.2 furthers that legacy, and we introduced in Munich a new C10, which is our statement. We're using exactly the same math, if you will, the same upsampling. Hardware is a complete leap in a brand new direction that hasn't been done. And again, in that same way that we're trying to create new performance, we believe new performance comes with new technology.
Right. Well,
or we're just recycling the same thing we've already done.
Yeah, and like I said, the new technology also translates to a long pedigree of listening, not just with me, but as you've relayed in your own experience. So, and in awards. So yeah, I just wanted people that aren't familiar with CH Precision to know that little background.
Yeah, that's great.
And share that with my audience. But thank you guys for this demo.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
One of the important things also with CH is because they have all the control in-house of upgrading the chip and such, that transfers to software upgrades in future. And prime
Future-proof,
example
yeah.
is the i1 integrated, which had the original software. When they came up with the 1.2, they translated that. They spent many hours doing a free upgrade for everybody who owned the i1, making that so much better through software upgrades.
That's
So
important. You are making a big investment, but it's mostly
it doesn't
future-proof.
go away.
They're
Yeah.
products that live on. And in
That's
fact,
good.
the C1.2 upgrade, the retail difference between the C1 and the C1.2 was $4,000. So any C1 owner that had a current C1, understand
Right.
that over 10 years we had upgraded some boards and the like, which you could have upgraded along the way as well. But if you had a current C1, $4,000 got you a full with new serial number C1.2.
That's great. Now, this is the kind of thing I look for because there's so many that'll just make you have to buy a whole new chassis, dealer and distributor markup again. This is an investment in a company that, so a lot of people don't know about CH Precision or just getting to know it. They should know it already, you
Oh,
know.
sure. I mean, and we all know a 10-year-old DAC isn't worth a lot.
Yeah, but in this
If
case,
yours can continue to evolve and be the latest.
Right.
That's been our goal. If you make the investment in a CH product, we want it to live on. It's not a one-time product. So
Yeah.
we introduced a new clock board. Without boring you with the technology, it just sounds better than the old clock board, and it's not necessary unless you have the external clock. But anybody that had the old clock board, they got a trade-in for the new clock board at 50% off. We
That's
just
great.
traded boards, and so again, that's how our upgrades work. They're always based on some form of reality.
so that's great. So come see, if you're at the show, definitely come to this room. But your dealership is how far away?
It's 30 minutes away.
30 minutes away. Is it closer to LA or
It's going
to San Diego or?
northeast.
Northeast, okay. Yeah, great deal. Always supporting this show, great rooms. So thanks again, guys.
Yeah, thank you.